What up? What up? What up? It's your boy JB coming right back at you. Welcome back to the channel. Had to jump on here real fast, man, because Simone Biles is wrong regarding the issue of men and women's sports. Guys, I didn't want to jump on this because at the end of the day, I hate discussing race on this channel, but sometimes it is a necessary evil that I gotta discuss. And guys, I think Simone Biles has stepped in something she didn't need to step into. Guys, if y'all not familiar, Riley Gaines is a swimmer who came to fame because of the swimming against a guy or a trans man, uh, and she ended up competing against him, and now she's like the poster child for making sure that only women can promote or only women can play in women's sports. So fast forward, guys, y'all know the details. Simone Biles said to her that you should be uplifting and making sure that sports is a safe space for trans women. And if anything, we should have a trans only section in sports so they can feel safe and all this kind of stuff. And Riley Gaines was like, it's funny that you're saying that now because you've won all your medals. You're done competing, basically. What if men would have been competing against you? Now y'all got to understand, Simone Biles is kind of off limits. So I got to be careful what I say because we know she went through the stuff with Larry Nasser and the mental health stuff and all that. So she's a little delicate, right? So you got to be careful with how you talk to her. But Riley Gaines responded, and she responded back to Riley Gaines and said, "Pick on somebody on size," which would ironically be a man. And we all know how small Simone Biles is, right? Riley Gaines is 5'5". That's according to Wikipedia. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, are we looking at another Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark prop up to where Simone Biles is now going to be the poster child for trans women in women's sports, while Riley Gaines becomes the conservative traditionalist for women's sports? And guys, that's what got me, because that's exactly what's happening. Guys, I got to tell y'all right now, this manufactured, guys, if racism is going on anywhere, it needs to be addressed. But when you start piggybacking off of certain things just because it happens to be a person of a certain color being this way being on this side of the argument, so now no matter what the other side is, I'm gonna be on it just because somebody from the other color is represented. So if Riley Gaines was black, would Simone Biles have said what she said? Guys, who has a problem with women only playing women's sports? Right? Who has a problem with a woman saying a woman should only play women's sports? Simone Biles actually came to greatness because she was protected by only women being in gymnastics. Right? So why would Simone Biles all of a sudden do this, guys? And then I realized it has nothing to do with sports. It has everything to do with Simone Biles will be the next Angel Reese being propped up to be the anti-Riley Gaines. Angel Reese is simply the anti-Caitlin Clark. And we know how that's working out, right? Simone Biles is about to ruin her legacy. Simone Biles is about to ruin her legacy because if you didn't allow it to happen or participate it to happen when you were at your peak, why are you going to let other women who come behind you do that? Guys, I can tell you, I don't have children, but I talk to a lot of people who do. And the one thing they want to do is make sure that their children had the same opportunities they had. If not, at least the children get it. Hopefully the children have it a little bit easier because of what you went through. How is allowing a man, to come and play against women? Why does Simone Biles want to do that? Right? Simone Biles then said the trans should have their own category. Simone, they don't want that. You're making Riley's point. You're making Riley Gaines' point. They don't want to have a separate category. They want to come in and beat the crap out of y'all. Now, granted, they can't do that to the men, so they're going to come in and beat the crap out of y'all. And they don't want their own category because who would watch? Who would care? The only reason this is making news is because men, biological men, are beating the crap out of women in women's sports. This is not affecting men's sports, but it's women out here. They're Simone Biles doing this has not one crack of logic to it, guys. Simone Biles is saying we got to make it a safe space. No, Simone. These women are in danger if these grown, physically mature men are competing against you guys in these sports because clearly there's a problem. And guys, they don't want their own category because if they had their own category, it wouldn't mean anything. Because if you had your own category, guess what? It already exists. It's called men's sports. And you're not good enough to beat men, so you're going over to beat women. And guys, I'll tell you, man, I went to NC State one time. I was an open gym, and our female basketball team was in there. That was the year they were going to Final Four. You know, check the records. 1998. I'll never forget, man. They ran me out of the gym. Girls ran us out of the gym. Why? But at the end of the day, guys, we still recognize they were collegiate women's players. We just in there running open gym, and they were like, "Hey, we need 5 people to run with us. We just trying to get some conditioning, trying to run our plays, blah 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 blah." Ran us out the gym, guys. Now that's what I remember women's sports, right? Which is if we're playing against the men, it's to practice for something for a more physical team or something like that. It's not something that you saw in a game. I can understand if trans women want to help. If trans women want to help uh women athletes train so they can be more prepared against other women. No different than what Dawn Staley does, right? With her basketball team. She has a men's team that her girls team practices against. Guys, you can't let them in. You can't let them into the actual sport. And Simone Biles is going to ruin her career because she's going to become the next Angel Reese, propped up to be an anti-white person message. And what if all of a sudden the white person ain't saying nothing wrong? Guys, I grew up in a time where we had debate class. It was mandatory. And you got a pro and you got a con. But neither one of the pros and cons were bad. Both the pro and con had legitimacy. Guys, this racism stuff ain't working when the other side ain't got no legitimacy. Or when the other side is just not at the same logic. Okay? That's the whole point, guys. That's the whole point. You know, I think that Simone Biles will back off of this unless she's being propped up and paid because somebody's tired of Riley Gaines and they want a liberal voice and they found somebody who will say what they want to say. Simone Biles ain't never talked like this in public before, and now here she is, guys. I can't believe she's doing it, but I think she's wrong. Y'all get down in the comment section. Let me know if y'all think Simone Biles is gonna be the next Angel Reese to fight against Riley Gaines, who's the Caitlin Clark of women's sports. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Is Jeff crazy or is Jeff on to something? If you hadn't already, man, mash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications. And until next time, I'm gonna holler.